One day your child will stop reaching for you in the dark, but what they learn from these moments may stay forever. Maybe your baby isn't waking up just to interrupt your sleep. Maybe they're searching for safety. Maybe they're trying to reconnect. Maybe they're trying to feel your presence one more time before falling asleep again. Because what looks like a sleep problem to adults can feel completely different to a baby. Tonight, we're talking about the hidden emotional meaning behind one of the most exhausting parenting experiences. Why babies climb onto their parents at night. And by the end of this, you may never look at those nighttime moments the same way again. Your baby is not trying to manipulate you at 2 a.m. That's the part most parents never hear. When a baby climbs onto your chest in the middle of the night, reaches for your arm, or presses against you just to fall asleep again, most people assume it's just a bad habit. But what if it isn't? What if your baby is responding to something much deeper inside their brain and body? You're exhausted, half asleep, maybe gently moving them back into the crib for the 5th time. Maybe you wonder if you've made them too dependent. Maybe you even search online trying to figure out how to stop it. But to your baby, it doesn't feel random at all. Babies are born with immature nervous systems. They cannot calm themselves the way adults can. They don't fully understand time, distance, or why waking up alone in darkness suddenly feels so uncomfortable. So, they search for the one thing their brain already recognizes as safety. You, your smell, your heartbeat, your warmth. Even your breathing can calm their body faster than words ever could. Sometimes your baby is not waking because they need something. Sometimes they are waking because they need someone. What feels like just another sleepless night to you may feel completely different to your baby. Babies do not experience darkness, silence, or separation the way adults do. Adults understand that when we wake up alone, the people we love still exist nearby. Babies don't always understand that yet. That's why nighttime separation can feel so intense to them. Imagine your baby falling asleep beside warmth, breathing, and safety. Then suddenly waking up in darkness with no movement, no voice, and no touch. To an adult, that moment feels small. To a baby, it can feel confusing, even frightening. Their emotional security system is still under construction. At night, everything feels bigger. The silence feels bigger. The distance feels bigger. Even a few feet away can feel enormous to a tiny nervous system still learning what safety means. That's why so many babies instantly calm down the second they feel their parent nearby again. Not because they won, not because they are controlling you, but because their brain received reassurance. You came back. Your baby's body may literally calm down the moment they touch you, not emotionally, but biologically. Once parents understand this, nighttime behavior starts looking completely different. A baby climbing onto you in the middle of the night is not always about attention. Sometimes it's regulation. Their nervous system is searching for balance. Think about how often this happens. Your baby wakes up crying, restless, kicking, arching their back, and nothing seems to work. Then suddenly you pick them up, and within seconds their whole body changes. The crying softens, their muscles relax, and their breathing slows down. Sometimes they press their face into your chest, like they're trying to disappear into safety itself. That reaction is not random. Physical closeness has a direct effect on a baby's developing nervous system. Your warmth matters. Your heartbeat matters. Even the rhythm of your breathing matters. Babies spent months growing inside constant physical connection. Before they ever saw your face, They learned your heartbeat, your movement, and your voice. Your body became their first environment. So when they feel overwhelmed after waking during the night, their brain naturally searches for the place that has always felt safest: you. One of the biggest fears parents carry is this: what if I'm making my child too dependent on me? That fear shows up quietly at night, when your baby refuses to sleep alone, crawls back into your arms, or cries the second you put them down. After enough exhausting nights, many parents start wondering if comfort itself is the problem. But what surprises a lot of people is that the children who feel safest early on often become the most independent later. Real independence does not grow from emotional distance. It grows from emotional security. A child explores the world best when they believe they have a safe place to return to. When babies consistently feel comforted during stress, their nervous system slowly learns something powerful: I am safe. Over time, that internal feeling of safety becomes confidence. Little by little, emotionally secure children often become more willing to explore, socialize, and separate naturally as they grow older, because reassurance already exists inside them. Your child will probably never remember a single specific night from infancy. Not the pajamas they wore, not the exact room, not even the crib. But they may remember something much deeper without realizing it for the rest of their life: the feeling. Children do not build emotional security from isolated moments. They build it from repeated emotional patterns of comfort, warmth, and feeling protected when they felt vulnerable. At the time, those moments can feel small, repetitive, and forgettable. But to a developing brain, repetition is exactly what creates emotional meaning. A child may not consciously remember being picked up at 2 a.m., but their nervous system remembers the feeling that came afterward: relief, safety, comfort, connection. Over time, those feelings slowly become part of how they experience relationships themselves. Emotional memories are different from normal memories. Normal memories are details. Emotional memories are sensations stored deep inside the body. Some children stop reaching for comfort, not because they no longer need it, but because they learned not to ask. From the outside, a quiet child can sometimes look easy. A baby who stops crying quickly can seem independent. A toddler who no longer reaches for reassurance may even get praised for being strong. But emotional silence and emotional security are not always the same thing. This is not about blame. Most parents are exhausted, overwhelmed, and doing their best. It's about understanding how repeated emotional experiences can slowly shape behavior over time. Children naturally express needs when they believe those needs matter. Babies cry because they cannot speak. Toddlers cling because connection helps them feel safe. But when emotional needs repeatedly feel ignored or emotionally unsafe, some children stop expressing those needs outwardly, not because the need disappeared, but because the expectation of comfort did. Children adapt very quickly to emotional patterns. If comfort feels available, they continue reaching. If comfort consistently feels unavailable, some children begin protecting themselves emotionally by needing less outwardly. One day your child will stop reaching for you in the middle of the night. No small footsteps down the hallway. No sleepy arms wrapping around your neck. No tiny voice whispering your name in the dark. And you may realize those exhausting nights were never really about sleep. They were about trust, about knowing someone would come when the world felt scary, about learning that love could still be found in vulnerable moments. The goal was never to hold them forever. It was to love them enough that one day they could let go without fear. So, the next time your baby reaches for you at night, pause for a second. Not to overthink it, and not to feel pressure, but just to recognize what's really happening underneath it. A small human is learning what safety feels like through you. Maybe that's one of the most powerful parts of parenting, not teaching words or building routines, but becoming the place where your child learns, I am safe here. If this made you see those moments differently, share your experience in the comments. And if you want more content that explores the emotional side of parenting in a real and honest way, subscribe to the channel, because sometimes the smallest moments with our children are the ones we only fully understand after they've already passed. And maybe years from now, you won't remember how tired you were on those long nights. You won't remember how many times you walked down the hallway half asleep, or how often you whispered, "It's okay, I'm here." But your child may carry the feeling of those moments with them for the rest of their life. The feeling that when they were scared, someone came. When they felt alone, someone held them. When the world felt overwhelming, they were safe in someone's arms. Because in the end, children do not only grow from routines, schedules, or perfect parenting, they grow from connection, from repeated moments of comfort that quietly teach them what love feels like. And one day, without even realizing when it happened, your child will stop reaching for you in the dark. They'll fall asleep on their own. They'll need you less and less. But the emotional foundation built in these small nighttime moments may stay with them forever. So if you're in the middle of exhausting nights right now, take a breath and remember this. Your presence matters more than you think, even in the quietest moments. Even when no one sees it, sometimes the most important parenting happens in the dark, when a small hand reaches for comfort and finds you there. If this video touched your heart, or changed the way you see those nighttime moments, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy honest conversations about parenting, childhood emotions, and the deeper meaning behind everyday moments, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Because sometimes the moments that feel the hardest while we're living them become the ones we treasure most later on.